more meaning means that we need to radically open up and express ourselves not only emotionally but discover who we truly are from deep within. Is that something that people would do on a regular basis? I would say no. I think people who search for meaning have a certain level of abundance already reached, however that may look like. They're looking for more depths, and it is quite, I would say, quite advanced. Okay, so looking out for meaning also means that we actually went through maybe a lot. And let's say financial success or a career or whatsoever didn't brought us the meaning, the depth we actually wanted to explore. And then people go into this kind of cave where they really want to know what life is all about, and they start to reconnect themselves to their own inner guidance. And this is actually when coaching gets very interesting. So in today's video, I want to look a little bit more into the meaning of life and what this has actually brought me or helped me, and also what are the consequences for looking into such a deep meaning in life. My name is Patricia. I'm a certified life coach, and if you're new on this channel, then make sure to give it a thumbs up and also ring that bell or click that bell so you get notified as soon as I publish any new content. And I want to say there is going to be an edition or an extended version of this video. So if you're looking for something practical, something easy, something that you can use on a daily basis, because trust me, there is nothing better than having a good routine in the morning or in the evening or both when you are actually going through a transit. Okay, so to have said this, we are already ready to start, and yeah, enjoy. So clearly, if you haven't already, I want to invite you to grab a cup of coffee or a tea or something that is going to help you to listen through something maybe a little bit more difficult to understand. And I believe that when we are looking at those things in a more open way, in a more loving way, okay? Because nothing of what I'm saying is the absolute truth, and it will not be for you either. So even though I'm saying a few things that may like totally trigger you, that is here to help you succeed on the long run. And it's not here to punish you in any sort of way. So feel free, grab a coffee, stop this video for a second, and start to actually really open up your eyes for new ideas in life. Yeah, and so with this, I already want to tap into, I've said it before, when we start to transit into a new self, into a new kind of a person, okay, we start to shed a lot of our skin. And that means that we are releasing a lot of things that we thought once were important. Now, do we know this on the surface? I think so, right? I think most of us have seen when people started to really change, and you know, most of the time it was something included which was like, I don't know, some kind of hardship, some really hard stuff like illness, maybe a death, maybe something in that direction, right? And then we start to transit because we see that life is actually quite short, and to not be in a space we really want to be is kind of losing time. I don't want to say wasting your time, because everything you do is for a reason, but it has its meaning that we are in a place that we are not happy, and that causes so much pain on the long run, that we keep going back to certain things that we experienced, or we experienced once pain. And I think that the more we look into what was that, the more we can actually level up. Okay, so sometimes we do have to go into the past in order to get through it. And so when people are looking for more meaning, they look for something that is giving other people a hand, that is supporting them on a bigger level, that is not only for themselves but in service for someone else. You want to, or they want to increase their happiness with being in service, finding the meaning in doing something that helps someone else is quite common. And I think that's what happened with me, right? I mean, I became a life coach because I saw that my career went into a direction that wasn't making me happy. I would even say now that I've quite a few years past now, I would really say that I was really close to get some kind of deep illnesses, and I mean mental illnesses, because I was forcing myself so much into the hustle mentality of I need to succeed, I need to gain money, I need to look like this or like that. I had so many different ideas on how I need to look like, but nothing of it really mattered to me. Nothing was really giving me peace. Everything was about how you look, how you look in front of the mirror. Do you know those people who make the selfies in front of the mirror to then check how they look like? That's exactly how I felt. Like, but from the outside, I was watching myself kind of like on autopilot, not really being there, not really steering the wheel, right? And so what happened is that I lost it at one point. And I had to change very, very quickly to not get into these illnesses. And thankfully, I actually realized that. Looking back, though, I would probably not have known that there. I was just really in the guidance kind of thing, and I was in my intuition and following that there needs to be something else, something more, but I had no clue how that looks like. And that's the scary part, okay? Because you jump into something, you have no clue what is coming. You don't know. And most of the time, your way of thinking and the way how you behave and the way how you saw the world once is changing completely, because you are looking for more meaning in your life. And there will be so many people who will push against that, not understanding what you're going through. And also they don't want to understand what you're going through, because this means that they have to reveal certain parts of themselves they don't want to. And we have to accept that, even though if that is a close people to us, for example, family. I think until now I managed that my family kind of is okay-ish with what I'm sharing here. Regardless, though, they were never happy with what I'm doing. And I think that this has something to do with them not understanding what I have gone through, and that's okay. And we have to accept that this is how life sometimes works. And see, if we get a lot of pushback, I think it's actually a great indicator to even push further. Not that you need to go against the wall, okay? That's not what I mean. What I mean is that the more we we receive a pushback, the more I think there is some truth hidden, and I want to reveal that truth. That could be because I'm an Aries. I want to push through things. I want to move forward, even though I have no idea about the territory, and this is in my nature. So as soon as I receive a lot of pushback, I know there is something for me there that I can gain for myself or for others. And really, what this meaning was about, like this deeper meaning, it was really about making such sudden shifts, and it was so rapid, it was so fast that I didn't even really know myself. So I went through a lot of up and downs, darkness. It was completely dark, where I went into a kind of the cave to heal my wounds, to really dig into the emotional part. Because listen, and this is the one of the crucial things here, in order to find more meaning in life, we have to reconnect with our emotions. If you have been into places where emotions were not allowed, and I believe most of us haven't, because see how we brought up, how we had to manage to be is a total different one than I'm now. So emotions, or connecting to emotions, was mainly not really common. And people in my area, in my field, and I know many people who experience this, they experienced a certain level of not being accepted if you are accessing your emotions, basically at all. So it wasn't really about your emotions and how you feel about certain things. It was about, you have bills to pay, and this is what you do. You go to work, and you are making your family kind of happy with the job you have, so that you are safe and secured and whatsoever. But the thing is that the security at one point is covered, and then after this security, what comes next is death. I mean, there is nothing left, because what you have worked for so hard is not what your soul wants to go for. And so you completely lose it, because you suffered so much to actually get to that damn point where you are finally financially free. Until then, you realize that this wasn't the damn point. It wasn't the point to get there. Sorry for my language. But it still is annoying to me that we had to go through all of this hardship to just understand that this is not the way to go. And there are so many people in Switzerland who go through a lot of pain simply because they have never been able to express themselves, because it wasn't allowed, because it wasn't accepted. And now you can say, yeah, but you can push through. Well, not really, because there are certain moments in your life where you just have to conform, where you just have to work, where you don't have the option really to speak up for yourself, because else it would have been taken advantage of you, right? So if you are in an environment where you are quite forced to be a certain way, you need to know that you always have a choice. But if you choose to really speak up for yourself, and to connect to your emotional inner world, then there will be a hell lot of pushback. And so that's what I've experienced. That's what many people I know experience, and especially my clients, right? Because they come to me for the balance, because they want to know, and they want to hear where they stand, and if what they are doing is a normal kind of what they are going through, if that is kind of okay, if that is something that they need to change, because sometimes we can lose ourselves on the way. And so what I'm doing within the coaching is to direct them into a more peaceful and calm healing, and not that you have like all of this, okay? Sometimes this is great because it gives you a push, but for the long run, you need it a bit more calmer, because else you will not be able to do it on the whole thing. So what this is really about is that finding more meaning and going in depth means that you need to reconnect with your emotions. Now, if you have never really done that, it's hard for you to even gain access there. Not that you cannot do it by yourself, but because there will be such a huge wave up and down, and because you will experience so many even like depths, and death almost. It feels like death, because the ego you have cultivated for all this time, right? The ego is here to bring you or give you the survival, and the ego isn't here to experience something new, but it helped you to survive until you realize that you don't need that part anymore. Right here, it's too expanded, too big. You can see this with really huge leaders who lead from their ego perspective, and ego is not bad. It's just like if it gets too huge, too expanded, then the way how they live is not really fulfilling. And that as well was actually necessary back then in the days when they didn't have an option to go into deep meaning, because else you would have beaten up, you see. Now things are changing, times are changing, where people are actually looking out for more meaning, for more depth, for more emotional connection, for deeper connection with other people. And so because of that, because of the request in the world, you're able to do this work, and I'm able to do this work. But when we grew up, it wasn't really that way. It wasn't that deep meaning was even like on the offer. It wasn't there. It was simply not there. And I think many of us have experienced this. So if you are at a certain part in your life where you want to make changes in the transit, then I highly, highly recommend you to get some support in however level you want to do this. You can see that there is still a code available to work one-on-one with me in the description box down below. But regardless of how you do it, you see, there is not a right or a wrong way. I believe though that the more we have support from people who actually know how things work, and this goes in pretty much every field, we can expand faster, and we sometimes don't need to go through all the difficulties anymore, because other people already learned how things work. And why would you go in every single depth? Believe me, there will be enough. There will be enough things that you are going through, even if you have a coach, even if you are going to some specialist. But maybe you can skip a few of them. And I think that's exactly what I would have needed, to not be pushed down every single day, you know? So we are on the end of this video. Let me know how you have experienced this video. I'm really curious to hear. So there is going to be an extended one, which will allow you to go a little deeper as usual with some practical tools. And with this, I already let you go. So have a look into the description box. Don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And I'd say bye, and I see you next time. Bye-bye.